Hi, everyone. I want to talk about giving yourself grace. The one thing I jotted down as I was thinking about what I was going to say this evening, because I'm always on here trying to give a positive message, and it came to mind about functioning in depression. And I know I was guilty of doing that a while back. Whenever I was going through a storm, I didn't want to talk. I would isolate myself and wouldn't tell my friends what was really going on. And I put on a good face, but I was actually going through a storm and I just didn't want to share it. I had a bad habit of just being by myself. I know friends would reach out for months and then I'd pop up and I'd return their calls. But I still wouldn't share what I was going through because I was so used to going through things by myself. So I just took the battles as they came. I know we all get storms, but sometimes storms can come in torrential sizes. Like it could be heavy, but I just would never talk about it. I always got through them. So I felt I'll get through this storm. I got through the 10 that came before this one. But that's not good. I do have good friends. I have friends that I know I could reach out to if I just want to talk. I'll just call and let them know now, hey, I just need a listening ear. I just need to talk, get it all out. I don't need you to tell me how to fix it. I don't need you to tell me to pray. I don't need you to tell me another story that's similar to mine that maybe can help me through it. I just need you to listen. So I do have a few good friends that I can call and reach out. And I had to learn because one thing about me, I was very prideful and I had to learn that I need to reach out, whether it's to friends, whether it's to for professional help, whether it's for organizations that could help me in whatever need that I may have. I had to learn how to reach out. So I'm here to tell you that if you have a circle of friends that you love, that they know you, you can trust them, reach out. Don't be embarrassed by what you're going through. We all go through something. Life happens. I told the story on one of my other videos that I have not worked in a year. So life does happen and you do need those type of friends that you can really reach out to. Don't do it alone. Don't stay in that dark place. Don't be in that bed pulling the covers up over your head with the shades shut and the house or apartment is dark. I do believe that in darkness comes light. So there's always light that comes out of that darkness. But don't leave yourself in that space where you just don't want to be bothered. You don't want to talk to anybody. You just want to do it alone. A lot of us are used to going through the storms by ourselves. And when I say by ourselves, I love the Lord. But sometimes the flesh will take over and it's just like I know if I have faith as little as a mustard seed that God will pull me through this. I know this. But I want to say too that part of a storm can be going through menopause. I found out that I'm going through menopause. I've been going through it for the last 5 years. I've been going through a rough patch with it, that it can really bring my mood down. So now I understand when people say they go to depression because sometimes my mood can go very low. They wanted to put me on medication, but I opted not to take the medication because I know there are things I can do when I can literally feel my body going through that change where my mood is going really low. So when I feel that, I can fight it. I fight it by writing a lot. I'll go out of the house a lot. I'll just get in my car and I'll drive. And I'll just talk to God, and wherever it leads me, Lord, just take me there. Sometimes I have driven my car for over an hour and probably just around in a circle. But that's just so I'm not staying in the house and I'm not sitting there worrying about my problem or allowing my menopause to take over. It's not going to win with me. I have too many hobbies, for one thing. I'll do some of my hobbies. I'll go to the library. I'll go to free events. I'll just look into doing things so I'm not just sitting in the home by myself. And that's what a lot of people will do. They'll isolate themselves, and they don't want to be bothered. That's not a good space to be in. If you have friends that you can trust, people who you know love you, reach out. Because 9 times out of 10, that person you're reaching out to, either they've been through the same storm you're going through, or they understand because we all get them. It's how we handle our storms, it's how we get through. And sometimes, because we all get storms, they are here to help us grow. So I always look at my storms like that. What am I learning from this? Where do I need to grow? In what areas of my life, Lord? And sometimes we can bring on more storms than we're supposed to even get. So that's where I say give yourself grace, because we're going to make mistakes. I ask God all the time to order my steps. But sometimes, if I don't hear that spirit, or I think I heard something, I go with it. And when it don't work out, I know then that, okay, Lord, I know why you closed this door. And part of knowing things is having that close personal relationship with God. So I'm talking to him every day. And I'm talking to him like I'm talking to you. He's my friend. He's my comforter. He's my everything. So I can talk to him every day. He's never going to be too busy for me. Hold on to him, yes. But we're human and we need human contact. And we need a friend. I I cringe when I hear people say, I don't need anybody. I don't need help. What are you telling yourself? You're lying to yourself. We're always going to need somebody, and we're always going to need help. And help don't always have to be financial. We're going to need help. We're not on this earth where everything is given to us and everything is perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. But I think we do that to ourselves because we're so used to doing things on our own. Let's get out of that. Let's build a sisterhood. Let's go back to the village. When my mother was coming up, the whole block, they took care of us. Somebody cooked out, we all ate. We need to go back to that. That's how we need to be training our kids up too. Takes a village to raise that's gone. There are no more villages. I have to admit, I've lived in quite a few places in my life, but I never knew my neighbors. I never fellowship with my neighbors. So I don't know what it's like anymore to live in a community. We just live in neighborhoods. But when I was coming up, it was either a community or a village. Everybody knew everybody. We thought it was bad because I didn't want my neighbor knowing my business. So we didn't look at it as it was a blessing. We looked at it more like it was a curse. But the neighbor didn't, it wasn't so much she wanted to be in your business, but they wanted to take care of their community. They wanted to make sure the kids was okay. If my mother had to run out, she didn't have to worry about us down on that dead end street. We lived on a dead end street and we literally knew everybody. to this day, I can point out each house and tell you who lived in those homes. We had a great community when we were growing up. I didn't provide that for my son. For one thing, I did, I moved a lot. So he missed out on that. So he's just like me. Wherever we live, we don't know our neighbors. We need to go back to having those friends where we don't always have to just do the vacations with them. Let's get on the 3, 4, 5 ways on the phone. Let's pray together. Let's talk together. Let's make sure, sis, you okay. Because when you're talking to your sister, you can tell if she's okay or not. See, when my friends text me and ask me how you doing, I'm just going to respond and say, I'm good. How are you? That's it. But I could be sitting up here going through one of the worst storms where the rain is just pouring. It could be a torrential storm. But because you just text me, that's how I'm going to text you back. So we need to start picking up the phone. I know I have friends and family that will think about me and pick up the phone and tell me, I just needed to hear your voice. I know if I'm going through something, I have a very close cousin that will know that I'm going through something. So if I don't feel like talking, I better not pick up that phone because she's going to know. But we need that. We need that. We don't need to be isolating ourselves and just going through it alone. I know that's what we're used to. I know that's what some of us are taught. But that's pride. God had to deal with me with my pride. There was a time where I was going through a storm that I thought would never end. But I wasn't picking up the phone telling anybody. I wasn't reaching out for anything. But God had to deal with me with that. And these storms are for us to learn and for us to grow. And if we're not growing, you're going to keep running into those storms and probably the same kind of storms. So grow from it, learn from it, reach out, whether it's professional help or your friends, your family, somebody you could trust. I say reach out. I learned when I was going through my storms, when I finally got over that spirit of guilt, beating myself up for some decisions that I made in my life, thinking I should be far more ahead than what I am. I just was beating myself up. When I got over that and started talking to the people whom I know love me and they care about me, I valued their feedback. Their feedback actually helped me get through a lot of things because they know me. See, sometimes people know you better than you know yourself, or know you better than you admit that you know yourself, because we know our shortcomings, we know our strengths. But we always want to tell people about our strengths, or we always want to show our strengths. But the beauty of the relationships that I have with certain people is that I can show my weaknesses without guilt, without fear, because they know me and they love me no matter what. Build on those relationships, hold those relationships dear to you. Those are the people that you're going to need. Quit telling yourself you don't need anyone. It's scary to think that I don't need anyone. Yes, God is my comforter. He's my everything. He's my father. But I'm human and I need that human contact. And I want that human contact. I don't want to get in this bed and just stay here until the storm is over. I don't want to not answer my phone because I don't want to tell my best friend that, oh, I'm going through another storm. She's going to be there for me. I had a friend, I tried to cancel her coming here because I was going through something, and I said, I don't want you to come right now. I'm going through a storm. And she was like, I'm coming. And she came. Those are the kind of sisters that we need. I need the sisters that I can get on the phone, I can rant and rave and cry and pull my hair out and bawl my eyes out and blow my nose while I'm on the phone, and she just listens. And I know she's there for me. And I always feel better. So it's okay to cry. Stop being so tough. And stop being so tough on yourself. Give yourself grace. Be vulnerable. Be emotional. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. I love when my friends come to me. I keep it in confidence because they came to me. Because I have a circle of friends where we all do know each other, but then there's certain ones we come to each other separate as well. But I love when they feel they can come to me, and I'm going to be there in whichever way that I can. If I have two nickels, they have one. If I can get some comforting words, I'm going to share my comforting words with them. So let's not do this functional depression thing. You don't have to be in that space. Don't ever stay in that space too long. Most of my depression, well, I don't even want to call it depression, but most of my storms come from maybe financial. But when I go low, it's from my menopause. So I know me and I know my body now. So I know those are the times where I'm going to find things to do. I start doing things that I had on my bucket list. I start doing things that I kept saying I was going to do. I'm I'm real simple. I live a simple life. I like simple things. I'll sit here now cuz I'm in an area that I love. And I'll go to the lake. I went to the lake 3 days in a row, and you don't know how great I feel today. Stop waiting on someone to do things with you. I had to learn that. I would want to do things, and something may come up with a friend. My friend have grandkids, and most of their lives they spend with the grandkids. That's another thing I'm going to talk about on here, because part of my friends not doing things is because they're doing a lot with their grandkids, which I'm not saying that's not okay, but you still have to take care of you and do things that you love, because you'll miss out. Time wastes on no one. It's going so fast. And I look back, I'm like, wow, my goodness. I know we say it all the time, but it's really going fast. So I'm trying to do as much as I can to have that peace. There's nothing like having peace. It's the most valuable thing we can have in our lives. And part of having that peace is not beating yourself up about life decisions. I've made a lot of bad decisions, guys. Man, I've made a lot. But I'm not beating myself up, because you know what? I've learned from them. I grew from all those bad decisions. Take time out for yourself and never feel guilty. I don't ever feel guilty. I am the most spontaneous person, though, that I do a lot of things by myself because I'm not good at planning at all. You'll ask me something on Monday, and I have good intentions, because if you ask me to do something on Monday and let's plan for Friday, I have good intentions. Monday, I might be all in, but by Friday, I might change my mind. I like doing things at the spur of the moment. And I think that's because my life has always been like that. I was always able to get up and go. I had my son young. Once he got out of the house at 19 years old, he's never come back. So I've been on my own for a while here. So I've been doing things that I love to do, and I'll just get up and go. I can turn over one Saturday and say, I'm going to go out of town. I love that about my life. So planning, most likely that's not in the cards for me. I'm not going to say I never do but it's rare. It's rare, and I like the freedom. I haven't worked for a year. I'm getting ready to go back to work. But being out of work for a year was a blessing. I could sleep in, I could stay up at night. I'm up at night now doing this video. It's after 1 a.m. Eastern Time. I like that flexibility. So we have to stop functioning well in this depression or functioning well during a storm and thinking I'm just going to do this by myself. I'm so used to it. I don't want nobody to know my business, because that's what it is. People don't want you to know their business, but there are some good people that you can talk to. You have to have a good circle. If you don't have a good circle, if you have no one like that in your circle or in your family, look at yourself. And I'm not trying to be ignorant about it, but look at yourself and see why you don't have those sisters. I just don't want you to go it alone. I used to do that. And a lot of it was pride. And a lot of it was I didn't want nobody knowing my business. Or I didn't want people to know back to back that I went through this same storm before. So you feel kind of stupid, like, oh my God, I just went through this 5 years ago. Well, you know what? Life happens. Everybody goes through that. And you'll find that when you go to someone in confidence and you let them know, I'm coming to you in confidence because I feel like I can pour my heart out to you. I can be vulnerable. I could cry, laugh, snot coming down my nose. I can do this with you because I trust you. That person is going to have the utmost respect for you. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to run and tell anybody because they're going to want you to come back to them because they care about you. I know my friends, and I know the ones that we chit chat. We've been friends for years, but that's as far as it go. I mean, we all have that too, but they're still friends. But I know the ones that are in my corner that I can go to for anything, that I don't feel like I'm taking up space when I go to them. I know who they are, so that's who I go to. Surround yourself with good people like that. They say you only get one in a lifetime, but I have more than one. Definitely. So you can have a circle of sister friends like that. And I use the word sisters because I'm old school. When we call you sister, your sister, we got your back. We're like that ride or die friend. I have those. Some of them I may not talk to in months, but when we start talking, that love just pours out on the phone. It just pours out. It oozes out on the phone. I have some good friends. So God had to work with me and say, I love that you need me, Lisa, but I also put other people in your life. And I had to go to them. And thank God I did. So don't sit there and feel like you're all alone, reach out. And if any of my friends are listening to this, you know you could come to me in confidence. I don't want you to feel like you're alone. Sometimes the toughest things happen so you could find out who you are. That storm don't have to beat you up like that. I love you. If someone's listening that needed to hear this, I'm glad I was able to get on here today and do this video about giving yourself grace. Thank you for listening. God bless you.